Okay, so let's start with the review then. So I will ask Evan to bring the to do the review.
Okay. Hello everyone. So I will start with the review from Ankush Rathore. Let me share my screen. Okay, I will start for the first project from Ankush Rathore. He submit like 7 images. As you can see, the quality is still very low. I think from this exterior render, you can see that there is so many details that we need to put in this kind of rendering. First, I will talk about the detail and the composition first. Let me put it on the Photoshop. As you can see here, if we do any renders, we need to see the perspective. In this case, he used like 3-point perspective. If you can see, here's the one. Wait, I like this one, and this one is 2, and he also used the third one up there. So it's not good when you do like small property like this. Probably you can use this for like high-res render for like buildings, big buildings is still okay, but for small residential like this one, I think it's not good to use that. So we need to make sure the vertical line is corrected using this vertical shift. If you use 3D Max, we can use the vertical shift. But let me correct this. Should be something like this. So you will get better angle rather than the previous one. You can see here. It's different, right? And in this case, you will need to put a little bit more skies and probably less environment, because there is no details in the environment as well. And probably a little bit more foreground in here. So you can get a better understanding with the environment in the foreground. Like we can put like more road here. It's just raw editing, so you will get a better angles. That's from the composition. And now, if you see for the details, probably in here you can put a lot of attention on the foreground. In this road is number 1 because it's on the foreground. And number 2 is the detail you have in here. All the detail. Before you go into more detail in your design projects in the housing. And you need to find a good reference to see how it should be in the real life. Before the meeting, I asking you about the residential real estate housing in the India, but I can't find one, and I looking for some design in India through the Archviz. You can see here. If you see here, there is a lot of details that you can put in the foreground. Like it's not like the design border and going to the road you will have a like a concrete something like this, or another design. Probably there is a gutter in here or a curb. You can use any kind of details that it should be there actually. You can see here there is a lot of detail. There's a lot of detail in the foreground. If you see the concrete and the stepping stone into the house, or there is a planter in the foreground, probably with some plants, and also the environment. As you can see, if we back to the renderings, the environment is just using like simple grass texture and put it in the background, and it's not like this because if you can see the perspective will end in the horizon. The horizon will be in here. Here is the horizon line actually, but the grass is up there. So as you can see, uh, there is a hill, like a hill in the background. So you will need to put attention on the perspective if you put like a grass texture or something for background. That's we need to adjust in this case for the details. It is okay to use like fence, something like this is still okay, but you need to put something behind the fence. If you can put another housing, like probably small with small details in here, is better. Probably with some windows or something is better rather than a full of grass in background. Or you can fill up if the architect doesn't want to show another renderings or another design in this rendering, you can put full of vegetation to fill up the background in here. And number 3 is like this car probably. I don't know is located in front of the house or because it looks like the car is above the pathway. I think it should be more far that from the housing or the property. Is too close with the property. Let's now see the vegetation. If you see the vegetation in here, it's quite dark. It's almost black. There is a sunlight, a strong sunlight in the property, but if you see on the vegetation, all the vegetation is almost black. That's why it's not good if you see it. Let's see the reference. Yeah, let's use this one. Strong sunlight, same. You can see that the vegetation is not black, is green and have yellow sunlight, same with the buildings. That's for the vegetation. And after that, we can see that some vegetation is coming through the wall. Something like this, we need to remove it. Yeah, I think it's just the vegetation because we will need to understand also the vegetation will not the same in the same shape. We need to rotate it and to scale it a little bit because in real life there is no the exact real size and shape of the vegetation. They're all different. And we are in 3D. We only have one type of the vegetation. That's where it's always happen. And now let's say about the lighting. Actually, the lighting for the general lighting, the sunlight, it is still okay. The lighting is actually working good in the facade. but actually the lack of the lighting is for the rest of the details, and the artificial lighting is not working very well because it's not going to happen in the real life. Something like this. Let's back to reference. If you can see here, the lamp is also turned on, but there is no like very bright lights flaring in the facade. Let's see if we have another sample. This only happens is if you do the dust render, something like this, they will appear. The light will appear very harsh like this. If you see this one is, you can see it's very strong. The light is very strong. The same with the sunlight. You can try if you have a cell phone camera. You can try. If you see the sunlight, you can turn on your lamp and you can try to capture and see what happens. What is the light, artificial light looks like if you compare with the sunlight. Another thing is like more details in, again back in details. There is no details in here. It's like there is an empty hole in here, and there is a grass with no planter in here. Probably there is should be like concrete planter or something like on this reference, something like this. It should be better to give some nice details in the renderings. I don't know what is this one. Probably this he means to put like linear light, but it should be not like that. This one also. We need to compare with the real design actually. No reflection on material. Yes. Actually, the material is of, if you do for the exterior, before we go deeper on the material, because I'm used to render exterior. Yes, material will good to put a lot of details. Yes, his map is only use diffuse. Yes, correct. But at least you will do the bigger. I mean the most part that we need to edit first in this case. So that's why I'm explaining you about the composition first before we go deeper and deeper and deeper into the material and everything, because I think I don't know what he means, if it's a stone in here or it's a metal. It's still not probably it's marble, but there is no reflection, or it's a stone, a natural stone. There is still a repetition, texture repetition is always happen in stone because you hard to find the big one, the texture. That's why it's always happen. And if you render the wood, you need to put tension on the like wood pattern. But we can see in here because the rendering is low, so we can't see there. And in here I can see that the artist focusing on the exterior light, but he forgot to put the interior light on. I prefer to put the interior light on because if you turn on the interior light, you will get some nice details inside, so you can give more ambience in your renderings. If you see the other renders, it's also the same. That's why the renderings never looks realistic. all the vertical need to be corrected, so you will get the better perspective to see it. Yeah, I think that's all for this one. Because the lighting probably we need still need like make it a bit brighter, something like this, but it's too bright, little bit too bright in here. So we can reduce a little bit. You can remove the birds because it's only black with no details. If you see, I prefer remove the bird in here, and put some clouds probably. It's better. And if you want, we need to remove this one and put some vegetation or something for framing if you want, rather than this small vegetation in the corner. You need to put nice texture to fill the empty street, and you will get nice details. Yeah, artificial light is too sharp in daylight. That's why I said I prefer turn it off rather than on, and I prefer turn on the interior light rather than the exterior one for the